Hey guys, James here and welcome to a new video. Today I'm going to show you how you can make a camera fly through text effect in Adobe After Effects. So without wasting any more time, let's get started. So here we are in Adobe After Effects. First, let's make a new composition. So if I click here on our composition icon, we can make a new composition. You can select any preset that you like. Suppose I want to work on a HD composition. So I'm selecting HD 1920 into 1080p. 29.97 fps, and then you can just name it. I am just naming it animation, and then we can click on OK to make the composition. The first step is we have to make a background. So right click here, then go to new, and there you can select solid, and from here you can select a solid color. I'll just select maybe white color, then OK. You can name it busy or background, then click OK. So here is our background. So we're going to animate the text. So we have to add some text. You can just right click and go to new, or you can go to layer, and from here also you can select new and then text. It will make a new text layer. You can write whatever you want. Suppose I am writing After Effects. You can select the text and then you can select a color that you like, maybe black, and you can align the text in the center. So go to align section. If you don't see this section, you can go to window, and from here enable align. This one, you'll see the align panel is here. I'm just centering it here horizontally and vertically. Here you can see our anchor point is not in the center of the text. So let's place the anchor point in the center of our text. To do that, select the text and then press Ctrl or Command on your keyboard. Then if you double click here on this pan behind anchor point tool, it will place the anchor point at the center of your text layer, right? Now you can also select this align vertically and horizontally to make sure the text is properly centered. And now we have to add a camera to achieve the movement that we have seen in the intro portion, right? So to add a camera, we have to right click here and then new. You can click camera, and from here you can select a preset 35 or 50. I'll just select 35 millimeter, and then you can name your camera, maybe camera, then OK. So here is our camera. So you can directly control the camera if you want. Suppose if you want to change the position or scale, you can do that from here. But the best practice is to add a null layer and then parent that camera to the null layer, and then you can control the camera using that null layer. We're going to do that. So right click here, go to new, and there you'll see null object. Null object means there is nothing, empty space. You can attach anything to that object, and if you change anything to that object, that change will be reflected to the object that you have parented. So here our null layer, and then you can rename it to camera control. Now let's parent this camera layer to our null object, right? To do that, you have to go here, and then if you click this pick whip, and then you can click and drag it to this camera control. Now it will be parented with this null layer. You can also do that just by clicking here, and then you can select the camera control from this drop down. If you don't see this parent and link, right click here, then columns, and here you can enable parent and link option. So that is the basic setup. Now let's animate the text and see how we can achieve the effect. To do that, first we need to enable 3D layer. So if I click here on this section, I can enable 3D layer for text and 3D layer for this null object. So these are the layer are going to be 3D, and our background layer will stay in 2D space. So why we need to check this box? Because in order to achieve the 3D camera movement, we have to tell Adobe After Effects that these objects are 3D. Whenever I am moving the camera, please behave the text in such a way so that it looks it is staying in a 3D space. That is why we need to check this box. Now first let's add a camera movement. So if I go here, and then I can add a position keyframe for the camera control. So if I press P on my keyboard, I can reveal the position section for the camera control. You can also do that just by clicking here and then go to transform, and from here you can see position. So if you want to change the position, you can just press P. That section will be revealed, and then you can add a keyframe here just by clicking here on this stopwatch. And now if I go to the beginning, I can make the position of the camera far away from the text. To do that, I can just change this position, maybe this much. So to see the movement in a better way, you can go here, and from this section you can select two views. Select this option, and from here you can change top view and select this option, and there you can select active camera view. So this is the top view of our composition, and this is the camera in 3D space. So if I select this one, now I can just select our selection tool, and then if I click and drag it, I can normally click and drag this camera far from this text, right? So if I release it, you can see we have changed the position of this camera. Now if I play it back, you can see the camera is slowly going towards the text, and the text is appearing. To make it a little bit interesting, we can select the keyframes, right click, and then go to keyframe assistant and ease, and go to the curve editor. Make sure you have selected speed graph from here, and then select that portion, and you can click and drag this section to make the curve a little bit interesting, so that whenever we are playing the animation, it will look cool, right? If I play it back, you can see the animation is much smoother. So that is our first text. Now we need to add a whole bunch of text in order to achieve that effect. I have already prepared some words for this animation using ChatGPT, so I'm just copying this keyframe and pasting it there. First one is keyframe, so select it, go here. Let's duplicate this text layer. If I press Ctrl or Command D on my keyboard, I can duplicate the text layer. Now I can just click and drag this text forward to change the position. Suppose I want to place it here, so I can do that, or I can place it here. Now double click, and you can just paste your text. Select the text and go here, and then you can click here to make the text uppercase. Now you can change the position. So I'm just changing it maybe here. I can down it a little bit. Again, select the text that you have added, and then Ctrl or Command D to duplicate it. Go and copy the text that you want to place there. Double click here, and then Ctrl V to paste it. You can select the text and then make it uppercase, and then you can change the position. Select the selection tool, and then you can click and drag this to change the position. So you need to do this section over and over in order to fill the frame. So I'm just speeding this portion. So we have added all the text. If I play it back, you'll see the effect is looking so cool. You can change the arrangement of the text while you are playing. Suppose here I can see this portion doesn't have a lot of text, so I can just click here on this tracking text. Then I can change the position of this text maybe a little bit forward. Here again, null object, I can change that position a little bit more. So arrange the text that you like, and I think if I change the text color of this section will look a little bit cool. So I'm selecting After Effects, and then let's make it a little bit bluish. This one, right? So we are almost there. You can add another keyframe for the camera control. Suppose I want to add rotation control. So if I press R on my keyboard, then I can add a keyframe for Z. Suppose I am placing it here, and then I'm going at the beginning section, and then I am changing the rotation, maybe 70 or 80, depending on your likings. Select the keyframe, right click, and then eases. Go to graph editor and then select the graph, and you can change the graph. Now if I play it back, it will look more cool. So one thing is missing, which is motion blur. You can add motion blur here from this section. So this is our motion blur block. So if I enable all those blocks, it will add motion blur for the text. Now if I play it back, you will see when the video is playing, it is adding some motion blur when the text is passing, and that will look more cool. So I want to add a opacity keyframe. So whenever the text animation is beginning, there will not any text. After a certain period, I want to reveal the text. So select the render and all the text from here. And then you can press T on your keyboard to reveal the opacity section. So go here at the beginning, add opacity and make it 0. And maybe here you can make it 100. So at the beginning, you can see the text is not popping. So if I play it back, the text is revealing. Now if I play it back, here is our final animation. So that is how you can make a camera fly through text effect in Adobe After Effects. I hope you have liked this video. If you have liked this video and learned something new from this one, then you can give me a thumbs up. And if you're new to this channel, want to learn Adobe Premiere Pro video editing or Adobe After Effects, then you can subscribe to this channel to get more awesome videos just like this one. I'll catch you guys on the next one. Until then, goodbye.